You're watching Swipe. Here's what's coming up for you on this week's show.
Kit's at the UK's leading national security event. I meet the artists asking, could tech kill creativity? And Simon brings us a multiplayer showdown to keep you thinking.
Welcome to Swipe from the Tate Modern in London this week, where a little bit later we'll be finding out what happens when art gets techie. Before then though, let's get a quick look at some of this week's tech news headlines.
BlackBerry is suing Facebook and its WhatsApp and Instagram apps. The company argues they copied technology and features from BlackBerry Messenger. Facebook has said it intends to fight the lawsuit.
Alexa, play the last sound.
Alexa has been surprising some of its users by suddenly laughing unprompted. Following the creepy reports, Amazon's told us that in rare circumstances, Alexa can mistakenly hear the phrase, "Alexa, laugh." The company says it's disabling that now and changing the voice assistant's response.
Alexa, replay.
Uber's moving into hairstyling. It's partnered with a beauty tech platform to launch an app that allows users to book a blow-dry or styling at a moment's notice from a professional who comes to you. It's only available in London, Paris and Dubai though. And Dyson says it's going cordless from now on, at least with its vacuum cleaners. The company says it's committed to putting engineering investment into cordless vacuums as it launched its latest model costing just under £400.
We'll be finding out what this is in a couple of minutes. Before then though, we're talking security because Kit has been to the Security and Counter-Terror Expo to see how the industry is keeping pace with the changing tactics of terrorists.
Turn around, hands up.
From military-grade weapons simulators to high-definition X-ray scanners, almost every conceivable security gadget is on show here in London at one of the world's largest counter-terrorism exhibitions. But the focus is shifting.
Winning the battle against terrorist propaganda online has dominated discussions at shows like this in recent years. But after a year in which terrorists increasingly turn to crude and low-tech tactics to carry out attacks, attention is turning towards more physical protection.
There are now hundreds of different barriers on the market, all designed to stop hostile vehicles. And one of the country's top counter-terror officers told me that businesses should think seriously about what they need.
Over the last year, it has been low sophistication attacks. We've seen both in London and in other cities all over Europe. And what we're trying to say to local authorities, to people who are looking to build in the future, why not put those protective security measures in from the beginning?
But protecting vulnerable sites goes beyond just physical barriers.
The antennas are driven by a signal generator.
This is a new type of body scanner, which its makers say can not only tell if someone is carrying a weapon, but exactly what it is. And they've already had interest from schools in the US, where the issue of gun attacks is once again high on the political agenda.
It just pulses and it listens. And these pulses of microwave energy cause hidden objects to, as it were, ring with a distinctive signature. And then the machine learning has been taught over a period of 7 years to recognize the ring of these different classes of weapon. So it generates an alert in real time and it can be deployed covertly so you don't even know it's there.
But some are warning that striving for total protection of public places can have unwanted side effects.
The attack on Westminster Bridge has ended up now with concrete blockers to prevent a rerun of that. But they're ugly and they worry people. You see them and you think threat. I don't want to be so secure that my life is a misery travelling around London.
Whatever your views are on them, it looks like we'll be seeing more barriers, scanners and detectors in the future as this industry adapts to an ever-changing terrorist threat. Kit Bradshaw, Sky News.
So here's why we're at one of the most famous galleries for modern art this week. A team of art students and alumni have been showcasing projects designed to make us question how technology will impact our lives in the future.
Is technology killing our creativity?
Well now, there's a question to be greeted with by a mock holographic cyborg on reaching the 5th floor of the Tate Modern. Up here, for just a few days, artists from the University of the Arts London are inviting people in to question their beliefs about technology's influence on us and art. Rex the robot reminds us how artificial intelligence is increasingly present and watching us live our lives.
Could you fall in love with an AI?
I don't know, Rex, but you are very cute.
This is about challenging the audience to re-examine their relationship with technology. And, so we wanted them to think about all aspects of their lives, like their love lives, their healthcare, and surveillance.
The Digital Maker Collective is using the space here as part of the Tate Exchange programme, an open experiment allowing organisations to come in with new ideas. It's all very different to what goes on in the Tate Modern's rooms downstairs.
In the galleries you can't touch, you can't have a conversation with that artwork, whereas at Tate Exchange we ask people to touch, we ask people to get involved and share their ideas and their experiences. On this floor everybody's voice matters and everybody's voice is heard.
It's quite tight.
You don't even need a voice for this project, a headset that reads brain waves. The more you focus, the further the needle moves across the screen.
I would say this is a game, not a piece of art.
But this is it, and I think that our understanding of what art is changing and evolving. Who's to say that a game can't be a work of art? This is what we're trying to do here for the project. Really trying to push the boundaries with what is considered contemporary art. So.
You are really concentrating on what you're saying right now.
And it's exactly that kind of discussion that the artists here want you to consider.
There is a lot of sort of anti-technology, especially within the art school. You come to art school, you want to paint. That's why you've come to art school, or you want to, make stuff with your hands. So I think the really important thing with the Digital Maker Collective is that we're saying you can do making and it can be exciting to use technology.
Well, if this is what art school is going to look like in the future, I predict an enrolment boom.
Staying with the virtual and interactive now, here's Simon with this week's video games review.
Riftstar Raiders for the PlayStation 4 is a 2.5D top-down twin-stick shoot-'em-up. And if you don't know what that is, you basically take control of a little craft, you fly around space and you shoot enemies. The key here is there are a lot of enemies because, much like other games within the genre, this is really hard, but that's the whole point. However, the cool thing about Riftstar Raiders is you can play with a friend. And when you are playing with a buddy, not only does it make it easier because you can team up, but it's funny because you can yell at each other every time you die. Now, if you've never played a game like this, I would definitely approach it with caution because, like I say, the difficulty can spike. However, it is a lot of fun. Get your friend involved, you're going to have a good time. Scribblenauts Showdown for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is going to be one of the most original games you play in 2018 and maybe, just maybe, one of the best. Now, the premise is a bit confusing, but it also is awesome. Basically, you get a bunch of mini-games, all which are very accessible and fun. However, before most of the mini-games, you'll be given a topic and you'll be given a letter and then be told, hey, why don't you come up with a food that starts with the letter L? So if you come up with linguine, it will then give you pasta. Then within that mini-game, you've got to figure out how to use the pasta to be successful. It's incredibly accessible, it's fun for all the family, and if you like video games that try something different, you've got to try this. It's fantastic.
Scribblenauts Showdown. Ready, set, party.
Payday 2 for the Nintendo Switch, which is also out for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. On paper, sounds like a really good video game. You and a bunch of friends join a big group and you go and perform a load of heists, such as robbing a bank. So you get into the bank, you steal the money, then you've got to try and escape before the police get their hands on you. Unfortunately, with the Nintendo Switch version, it's really hard to play because technically it's a bit of a mess. The frame rate's not very smooth, it doesn't look very good, meaning that how much you want to enjoy it, you're not going to be able to because, again, the technical issues. Now, if the developer does fix this with a patch, I will highly recommend it, but until that day, stay away from this and keep an eye on the internet to see if they can come up with a fix. Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition for the Xbox One, PC and PlayStation 4 is the best iteration of Final Fantasy 15 yet, where you do indeed get the base game and you get every single piece of downloadable content that Square Enix has released to date. And if you're not aware of Final Fantasy, all you need to know is that it is a Japanese role-playing game, which means you're going to be doing a lot of talking, and when you're not talking, you're going to be trying killing huge, massive monsters. And if that sounds up your street, you know what? This will be up your street.
and for the future of our world.
Well, that's it for this week's show. Don't forget to join us again for more Swipe next week. And in the meantime, follow us on Twitter.
Sky News Swipe.
You got it, Rex. Bye.